What's the deal, YouTube? Jeffy, I am. Man, I know, man. It's been a long time, but today I think I'm on time. First of all, I'd like to say, it's Flag Day. I'd like to thank all the veterans and those who have given their service to our country. Today is not President's Day. Today is Flag Day. So I'd like to get that out the way first. But let's talk about something. Our country's changing, right? For the most part. In my opinion, I think things are terrible right now. For the country, our economy. But let's get into some real talk, though. Memorial Day just passed, and I did a little traveling. I went home. I went to Kansas City. And on my way out, I noticed that there were a lot of U-Haul trucks coming in, and I didn't know where they were coming from. So I didn't pay no attention. But as I go downtown, a lot of people go downtown to, see the new attractions. We got a trolley system, scooters you can rent. So going downtown, I noticed there was a lot of people on dirt bikes. And that made me, I wondered. We have took a lot of the California culture, and they have a lot of side shows. But on that particular day, it was a lot of people in masks and Eddie Bauer vests, khaki. So I was like, whoa, what is this? I didn't know what that was, right? Come to find out, this is what that was.
Memorial Day weekend, the Liberty Memorial is decorated to honor our troops. But yesterday, more flags appeared at the memorial from ralliers. These pictures show the group with faces covered rallying at the memorial.
You trying to tell me law enforcement was not involved, huh? They lying.
Lucas also said, while the First Amendment provides the right to bring any message to Kansas City, we know that our diversity, our welcoming community, and our respect for the rights of all reject whatever hate and cowardice come our way. It's still unclear why the group chose Kansas City for their
figure out a plan to get that.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got to get them an Uber or something. That's probably the best bet, I'm guessing. I don't think anybody knows about
There's a dog. If the dog in there is cool with, if the dog is in there is cool with me driving it to you guys, I can go and get it. But there's a dog in there. I don't know.
We need to get him. He's my service animal. That's why I really need to get him. But
Get you an Uber. Let's go.
Here,
Get your mask on. Let's go.
I don't give a my face right now.
Just take.
Has released a statement to me saying that is an absolute violation of their company policy to transport human beings in the cargo holds, and they have revoked the rental privileges of those who rented those trucks in Kansas City. But this is not the first time that this group has used trucks to transport humans.
I love Tesla.
Meanwhile, in L.A., just remember what Pac said. We'll burn this bitch down, get us pissed to live and die in L.A.
No, I didn't. You're on TV, and now you're pushing me on live television. All right, we didn't touch anybody. You know that's true. Okay. Thank you. I got it. So you can see, obviously, tensions are extremely high here.
Yes, because you touched the officer. Don't touch the officer.
We have video testimony. Nobody touched an officer. Okay. Obviously, massively high tensions here. These folks are tired. They are also hot. It's a long day, and it's been a long week. We clearly didn't touch the officers. You're on live television, sir.
Yes, you did.
Remember what Tupac said about L.A.? We'll burn this bitch down if you get us pissed to live and die in L.A. All right, let's get back to Flag Day. Oh, my bad. Here go the right one. My bad.
I haven't seen anybody doing anything other than having a good time. laughing at people's signs, giving high fives, handing out water, making sure everybody's okay. It's been really, really great.
Indivisible Kansas City is the local group that organized the rally. The group says No Kings is a message against an authoritarian vision. Indivisible believes that this country doesn't belong to a king. Happy to see such a big turnout.
Bigger than I thought it was going to be, which is very reassuring. Being in the state of Missouri, you don't expect a turnout like this. I mean, granted, we are in Kansas City, but it's still beautiful to see so many people, so many like-minded people that believe in what's good.
To live at, with the chain of events that I've mentioned and I've showed, where I actually live at, Flag Day was a decent day. The residents here actually celebrated what the actual meaning of Flag Day is. That's respectable. But again, as I'm out and about, I noticed that people don't really too much care for my presence. They had a car show. You know, I didn't even go to that because it's a lot of old schools, but you know, like I said, the presence was felt. And again, it was 80-something degrees, and I do not like to be in the heat. But with that said, you know, just talking to people, they don't really realize what's going on in the world today. The outside world, anything 30 miles east, west, north, or south of here is foreign. People are trapped in this, you know, in their city. And I will say this election, I do feel like the Republicans strategized and used social media to their detriment. I mean, not to their detriment, but to, you know, to gather a win. And they did it well, and they're still using fake news and other propaganda to express their viewing points and talking points, right? But I was talking to a brother, I was talking to a black man, he's a business owner. He had to get his second job, but his second job has slowed down because his second job was on a farm. The farmers are feeling this effect. His store is feeling the effect because people are not spending money, right? And during our conversation, he was telling me how proud, I'll say how proud he was to be, you know, keeping his family afloat. But he was wondering when the overtime was going to stop being taxed. And I had to get a good laugh in. That's one of the selling points that was given during the election. And he still believes that. He's still waiting on the stimulus check. And that's the propaganda that I talk about. I'm like, man, do you really know what's going on? And we have real conversations. But anything outside social media, he has no clue of. None. And he's from a major city just like I am, right? And what I'm also noticing is this is just my opinion. Take it as you want to. I went to the grocery store the other day and I spent roughly $200. That'll get me and mine through maybe a week and a half. And I got all these essentials. I eat healthy. Eating healthy costs money, right? But I noticed people in the shopping lines behind me were getting essentials and a bunch of junk because people are just not spending money. The factories in this area that I live in, they get 40-hour weeks, if that. Overtime is not an option anymore. These farmers, you know, the ones that have independent farms, I believe they're doing well, but they're also in competition with big conglomerates, right? So I'm starting to see a lot of vendors on the side of these small highways selling fruits and vegetables, which is a plus. I'm a fan of that. But like I said, the lack of income, and I noticed in this small town, it's a tourist attraction here, people only come on holidays instead of on the weekends. And another thing, I know I'm just rambling, but another thing I noticed too, people love to blame Biden for what's going on now. It blows my mind. It really does. It's laughable. But that's what's really going on in these small cities. You give them other information, they just stuck in a I'm not even gonna say stuck. Hope and belief is really, really big to people who don't have much and are not making much of a wage. They're acting like our president is the new Messiah. and privilege is at an all-time high. I had some issues with my dog, and this is the last point I'm going to touch on, right? I have 3 puppies. I take care of them. They're very well groomed, respectable. I have small show dogs, right? I have new neighbors who don't believe in taking out the trash, who don't believe picking up trash, bad kids or whatever. And that comes with what's going on with the topic I'm speaking on. Many people are coming back to these areas, either moving out here in the country or moving in with a parent or loved one. The apartments here, I know people that are living, 4 people, 2 couples and a child in a 2-bedroom apartment. But back to what I was saying, I have a neighbor whose dogs are out tearing up the trash, using the bathroom in people's yards, and he doesn't have the audacity, he doesn't have the respect to pick up or clean up after his dogs, right? And I lost my temper the other day, and I said some things, right? But it made me laugh, because when people do things, they really don't think that they deserve, a response, right? So, as I'm sitting here in my house, but one thing that made me laugh is, but then I felt guilt, but then I was like, well, that's how it is. This gentleman has been living across the street from me with no lights, no water, 2 dogs and a cat. Now, am I an a-hole for judging him? But I'm the angry black guy, right? One that was fully engaged, fully gainfully employed. But put all that aside. I'm a man first. Put all that aside. When things come up, I want to talk and figure out a solution. These people won't answer their doors. They'd rather you get upset and the resolution never comes. So there's a lot of tension. But I noticed that's the privilege some of these people actually feel. Disability, there's a lot of people out here on disability because they're alcoholics or drug addicts. May God, be with you if you do have a substance abuse problems. But the government titles that as a disease. I got a brain injury and I have to fight with the government. You know what I mean? And some benefits have been cut, so I bought my own insurance. I hear people complaining about that. People's food stamps are getting cut. Well, if your food stamps getting cut, or you're getting less food stamps, figure out a way to get more. And that's the mentality I have. But all in all, before I start rambling, that's just thoughts for the mind. And thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. And it won't get better until you do better. You understand what I'm saying?
I love Tesla.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. But I think today we was on time. Jeffy, I am. Hit that like and subscribe. Hey, we talked about it.